The first time I saw Elena Hart, she was standing under the blooming cherry blossoms outside the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library, clutching a stack of textbooks to her chest like she was holding the whole world together. Washington, D.C. spring days have this way of turning everything soft, light wind brushing the trees, the smell of coffee drifting from street carts, tourists taking pictures of nearly everything. But that day, even the city seemed to pause for her. I was a freshman at Jefferson College, a small but competitive liberal arts school hidden between the political heartbeat of Capitol Hill and the buzzing energy of U Street. Like every teen who stepped foot on campus, I arrived believing college would change everything. I expected friendships, late-night study sessions, a little stress and a little freedom, but I never expected Elena. She wasn't loud, she wasn't trying to stand out, but she glowed. Maybe it was her calmness, or the way her hazel eyes scanned every detail, or that she smiled like she rarely gave the world that privilege, but when she did, it was bright enough to make you forget to breathe. I had no reason to talk to her that day. I was running late to my economics class and she was obviously lost in thought. But fate works strangely. Just as I stepped onto the crosswalk, a gust of wind shot through the street and all her papers went flying like snowflakes caught in a storm. She scrambled to catch them, her soft voice whispering no, no, no please, as if talking to the wind could help. I didn't think. I ran toward her. Got it? I yelled as I jumped for a sheet before it flew into the road. She looked up, startled, then exhaled with relief when she realized I was helping. Together we chased every runaway page across the walkway until we sat breathless on the library steps, laughing in that embarrassed but happy way strangers do when thrown into unexpected chaos. Thank you, she said, brushing her hair behind her ear. You really didn't have to do all that. Well, these papers seemed like they were trying to apply for U.S. citizenship, I joked. Heading straight to Capitol Hill. She laughed, a genuine, warm laugh that made me feel like I had just won something important. I'm Elena, she said. I'm Adam. From that moment on, something inside me shifted quietly but unmistakably. Elena was a sophomore majoring in international relations because of course she was. Everything about her felt global, thoughtful, bigger than herself. Her dad was in the military, her mom worked in public policy. She grew up moving from state to state until her family finally settled in Maryland. She said Washington, D.C. was the first place that ever felt like home. I became her unofficial campus guide, though she didn't need one. She already knew the metro lines by heart, memorized every building on campus, and somehow remembered the names of professors I hadn't even met yet. Still, she let me walk with her to classes, to the cafe near Dupont Circle, and to the college library where she insisted the third floor had the best silence in the entire district. We studied together, her neat handwriting next to my messy scribbles. We got coffee together, her caramel latte to my black coffee. We explored D.C. together, becoming regulars along the Tidal Basin, spending afternoons listening to street musicians at the wharf, and arguing over which food truck had the best tacos. She picked Tacotopia, I supported Capital Tacos, a rivalry that became our ongoing joke. But we never called it dating. We never called it anything. Teen love is strange like that, you feel everything but say nothing. Still, the world noticed. Our friends teased us. The librarian smiled knowingly whenever we sat at our usual table. Even the street vendor near campus asked, so when's the wedding, when I bought her coffee after class. Elena would blush. I would laugh awkwardly. And I would think, maybe someday. It happened on a warm fall night. The campus buzzed with energy from the homecoming celebrations. Music thumped from fraternities, the quad shimmered with fairy lights, students danced barefoot on the grass. Elena and I slipped away from the crowd, walking along the National Mall where the monuments glowed against the night sky. We sat at the edge of the reflecting pool, watching the Washington Monument shimmer in the water. Elena hugged her knees. "I've always liked reflection," she whispered. "It makes everything look softer than real life." "What do you mean?" She hesitated. "Life moves fast. Expectations, family, goals, school. It's like I'm always running. But here, everything slows down." She turned to me. "And when I'm with you, I feel like I can breathe." My heart paused. Stopped. Restarted in a new rhythm. I opened my mouth, but words tangled in my throat. I wasn't sure if she meant friendship or something deeper. Then she rested her head on my shoulder. I didn't say anything. But that was the moment I knew I was in love with her. Love, especially young love, is not smooth. It grows fast, and cracks appear where you least expect them. Around midterms, Elena became distant. She cancelled study sessions. She avoided our walks. She replied to texts with short answers. I thought maybe she needed space, but space turned into silence. Finally, after a week of feeling like I was orbiting a planet that no longer saw me, I confronted her outside the student center. "Elena, did I do something wrong?" Her eyes filled with guilt. "No, Adam. It's not you. I got overwhelmed. With school. With everything." She sighed and leaned against the wall. "My dad got deployed again. My mom is stressed. Scholars program interviews are coming up. I feel like I'm being pulled in 100 directions, and I didn't want to drag you into my mess." "Elena," I said, gently lifting her chin, "you don't get to decide what I can handle. If you're going through something, I want to be there." She blinked, tears brimming. "You shouldn't have to. You deserve someone whose life isn't complicated. Life is complicated for everyone." She looked down. "I'm scared, Adam." "Of what?" "Of needing you, and losing you." I exhaled slowly. "Then don't lose me." She broke softly, beautifully falling into my arms like she'd been waiting for a safe place to land. And I held her, knowing I would never let go. Winter arrived in D.C. with frozen air and holiday lights strung across the city. Students rushed to finish finals before break, and Elena finally returned to herself, smiling more, laughing more, walking beside me again. One snowy evening, we visited the Georgetown waterfront. The Potomac River rippled with city lights, and snowflakes drifted slowly like feathers. Elena shivered, and without thinking, I wrapped my scarf around her neck. She looked up at me with soft eyes. "You always take care of me," she whispered. "Maybe I like you too much," I said, half joking, half truth. She blinked, startled, hopeful, uncertain. Before she could speak, her phone buzzed. A call from her mother. She stepped away to answer it. When she returned, her expression had changed, somber, distant. "We should head back," she said. I wanted to ask her why. I wanted to tell her everything I felt. But something about her silence made me stop. Some moments want to bloom. Others freeze before they get the chance. Spring returned to D.C. bringing pink cherry blossoms across the Tidal Basin, flowers Elena loved most. But she wasn't smiling. One afternoon, she asked to meet me at the college gardens. Her voice on the phone was too calm, too controlled. The kind of calm that hides a storm. Elena, I asked when I arrived. What's wrong? She looked at me with sad eyes. I got accepted into the Global Scholars Program, in New York. My heart froze. That's amazing. I know, she whispered. It is. But it means I have to leave. In 2 weeks. I stared at her, unable to breathe. Say something, she begged. What do you want me to say? I asked, voice shaking. That I'm happy for you because I am. But I'm also, my voice cracked. I'm terrified of losing you. She stepped closer. I'm scared too. Then don't go. She closed her eyes. I can't stay, Adam. This is something I've worked for my whole life. I turned away, fighting the sting in my chest. So that's it? She grabbed my hand. No, I don't know if long distance will work. We're young. Life is unpredictable. And I don't want to hurt you. I looked at her, really looked, and realized she was breaking too. Elena, I said quietly, I don't need guarantees. I just need you. She shook her head, tears spilling. I can't ask you to wait. You're not asking, I replied. I'm choosing. She cried harder. We didn't kiss. We didn't confess. We simply held each other as cherry blossoms fell around us, beautiful, silent, heartbreaking. The next 2 weeks passed like a movie montage, laughing, eating, studying, walking through D.C. as if trying to memorize every corner of the city together. On her last night, we visited our cherry blossom spot at the Tidal Basin. Elena looked at the water, her voice trembling. You know, some people come into your life for a season. And some stay forever, I whispered. She turned to me, eyes wet. Adam. I never told you, but... I stepped closer. I know. No, she whispered. You don't. She touched my cheek gently. I love you. Time stopped. I felt everything, every moment, every heartbeat, every unspoken sentence crash together in a rush of overwhelming emotion. I love you too, I said. Then, finally, after months of almosts, she kissed me. It was soft. Slow. Full of everything we were too scared to say before. When she pulled away, she cried again. I'm sorry it has to be now. It's okay, I whispered. This isn't an ending. How do you know? Because people who find each other the way we did, always find their way back. Distance was hard. But we talked every night. We shared pictures, stories, laughter, even silence. Two teens in love, trying to navigate two cities, growing up in two different places but never growing apart. 1 year later, on the first day of spring, she returned to D.C. for a week. We met again under the cherry blossoms. This time, nothing flew away, not her papers, not her courage, not us. I'm home, she whispered. And I pulled her into my arms, knowing she always would be. Because sometimes, love doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes, it grows slowly like blossoms waiting for the right season. And when it finally blooms, it changes everything.